Good morning, Broncos country. We've got some breaking news along with your eggs today as the Broncos have hired Nathaniel Hackett to be their next head coach. The news came out just before 5 a.m. Mountain Time, okay? I don't know if GM George Paton was just tossing and turning about the idea of Hackett being poached elsewhere, so he woke up from his deep nightmare of Hackett not being the Broncos' next head coach and made it official. This will be the 18th head coach in franchise history and the 5th since 2011. Hopefully, this is the end of a run of just 2 to 3 year head coaches like we saw with Kubiak, who didn't leave because he got fired. We know that was a separate issue. But Vance Joseph, just a plain old swing and a miss. Vic Fangio, not as bad as Vance Joseph, but you didn't see the progression after 3 years on offense you would have liked to have seen. And hopefully Hackett, the first offensive-minded head coach in 10 years, can get this Broncos offense back to where we all know it should be. It should be Peyton Manning throwing 55 touchdown passes in a season. That's the kind of offense we want to see. And Aaron Rodgers, he could probably do that. In fact, he may be coming along and following Hackett. But I want to ask this question early in the show. What is your one-word reaction to the hiring of Nathaniel Hackett? Let me know in the comments section below because there's a lot of different opinions on this. No one was all in agreement of who the next Broncos head coach should be. There were some Dan Quinn campers out there and then even some Kevin O'Connell who doesn't even get a second interview because Peyton was just freaking out at the idea of Hackett going elsewhere. So he pulls the trigger at 4:50 in the morning local time in Denver to make it official. My one word, it's Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers because it seems inevitable to me. Honestly, it feels like it's more likely than unlikely that Hackett brings Luke Getsy, the quarterback coach in Green Bay, on as his offensive coordinator. They trade for Aaron Rodgers, and maybe they get a little frisky and they do a tag and trade to lure to bring Devontae Adams along with. It's going to be the Denver Packers next season. It's that busy. But Aaron Rodgers, he said this. This was a couple of weeks ago, put out this quote about his good friend and now Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett. This is a little overdue, to be honest, in terms of him being a head coach. He's been around the game for a long time. What he did in Jacksonville, I think, was pure magic, getting them within a quarter of the Super Bowl. He's a great coach. I love spending time with him. He's a fantastic teacher. He's incredible in front of the room. We'll talk about Hackett's past in a little bit more detail in just a moment. But first, guys, this is why you subscribe, because when breaking news happens, we are moving here at Chat Sports and the Broncos Breakdown to get you a video as soon as possible. I'm going to let you in on a secret that producer Sam doesn't even know yet. I didn't even shower this morning. Just went straight from my bed right in front of the camera to get a video to you guys ASAP Rocky. So hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you get in on all the latest Broncos news and rumors and turn on those notifications. That way when a video comes out, you can watch it and get caught up to date as soon as possible. Looking at Hackett's past, though. So let's do a little homework on him. This is a little bit of a Wikipedia spark notes here. So he's the Packers offensive coordinator for the last 2 years. Now, in Green Bay, he does not call the plays, but he does have play calling experience from his time in Jacksonville as the offensive coordinator, where he had Blake Bortles, who may be the next backup quarterback in Denver. Remember that 2 years ago, last year? So he had Blake Bortles a quarter away in Foxborough from taking the Jags to the Super Bowl. Then Tom Brady did what he does best. He was a QB coach before then. He was the Bills OC with Kyle Orton and EJ Manuel and made that offense somewhat good. This is where I kind of worry because it's not like the Jags and the Bills have been firing offenses. And I wonder if Aaron Rodgers wasn't a possible trade target this offseason, would Hackett be this big of a name in the coaching carousel? I don't want to take this moment away from him. He deserves it, no doubt. He's worked hard. This is the greatest accomplishment in his coaching career thus far. But it does make you wonder, if Rodgers was never going to leave Green Bay, would this be the biggest target for the Broncos? All right, let's get back to his coaching history, though. He was the Syracuse offensive coordinator before that. He was with Doug Marrone. If you remember him, the old Bills head coach, and then went to Jags as well. You can see he just followed Doug from Syracuse to Buffalo to Jacksonville. Before that, though, back with Buffalo as the offensive quality control quality control coach, and the same with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting in 2006. His overall coaching career, though, begins back in college before his NFL days with Stanford and then UC Davis, so a California guy. That's where he got started, and that's the background, going all the way back to 2003. So he's not some kind of spring chicken that's the young, sexy, offensive-minded guy that's only 35. No, he's been around the block a little bit. He's got tons of experience, and that's what I kind of like in this hire. I don't want to jump in bed with the next 35-year-old just because he came for the Rams and he's got a sick hairdo and wears tons of hair gel. No, I wanted someone who had some experience, and Hackett has that. The other candidates the Broncos looked at, they were never very serious about any of these 5 guys except for Kevin O'Connell, who it looked like the Broncos were waiting till Monday to interview because they wanted to see what he could do in a second interview. That didn't happen because Peyton didn't want to wait. He wanted Hackett, and he wanted him now. He was like a child at Toys R Us. He wanted his toy, and so he was stomping on the ground saying, "I want Hackett. I want Hackett," and he made it happen, and he's got him. The other 5 candidates that the Broncos looked at, Callahan, Kellen Moore, and Bieniemy, all those 3 guys just got 1 interview. Dan Quinn was going to get a second interview, and for whatever reason that I would love to know the background story, it never happened. Maybe because Quinn was prioritizing the Chicago Bears head coaching job, the New York Giants head coaching job, over the Broncos, so he told Denver, yeah, I can meet with you. How does next Saturday from 1 to 1:30 sound? It's unclear why Quinn never got a second interview, but it doesn't matter at this point because they got their guy. They got Hackett. That's clear. If Hackett wasn't their number 1 guy, then they wouldn't have hired him at 4:50 in the morning. But they wanted him, so shout out to GM George Payton. He went out and got him. Sportsbook partner today is BetUS. Go on over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Broncos125. There's a lot of great things you can bet on over at BetUS. Something I think you should be looking at, and it could be free money, and honestly, I wonder if the Vegas odd makers are going to pull this now. You can bet on where Aaron Rodgers will be next season if it's not in Green Bay. Look who's number 1. It's the Denver Broncos at plus 300. You put $100 in, you're going to win $300. Or you can be like me, just bet $10 because I don't want to lose my rent. But it does seem pretty likely that Aaron Rodgers to Denver is the most likely outcome. I think it's even more likely than him staying in Green Bay. Back to Hackett and some of the notes we have on him. This is what I'm getting at. There's a lot of belief that Aaron Rodgers will want to go where Hackett was hired. And he went to Denver, and so now Rodgers wakes up this morning and goes, yeah, let's get some boxes, let's get some tape, and let's start packing up my house in Green Bay and look for property in Denver because he wants to go where he has some familiarity. If he's going to leave Green Bay, he doesn't want to go to some new head coach. He's got to start from ground zero. He wants to go somewhere he has a relationship with the coaching staff already, and he has that with Hackett. Decent chance Hackett will bring the quarterback coach in Green Bay, Luke Getsy, along as his offensive coordinator, and now we're just 2 pieces away, Rodgers and Adams, from completing the quadrecta, whatever it's called, for 4 key pieces of the Green Bay Packers moving on to Denver. So could a trade happen next? I think it very well may. The last couple of head coaches in Denver, last 2, not so good. We all know that. Vic Fangio, 19-30 overall as a head coach. Vance Joseph was even worse, 11-21. Then you go back to the Super Bowl head coach of Gary Kubiak, and then the guy who walked so Kubiak could kind of run, John Fox beforehand. Those are the last 4 head coaches in Denver, and it's been a while since the Broncos have had a winning season. You got to go back to 2016. And it's a shame that it's been that long, and Broncos country flat out deserves better. But grade the hiring for me. Let me know what your grade is down below in the comment section. Personally, I'm giving this one a B+. I think it's not quite an A for me just because, and I'm sorry to do this to Hackett, but like I said earlier, if Rodgers wasn't available, would this name be so popular? That's my only question. Or was it always going to be popular, this coaching carousel, and Rodgers was just a sweetener to the pot? That's my big takeaway. That's my big question, is how much of a pro was it for Hackett that he could bring Rodgers along with him? We're going to find out. because it looks like it's pretty likely, and then we just got to wait till 2022 to find out if Rodgers can play at that 3-time MVP and possibly now 4-time MVP level we've all seen him play at. It's been tough sledding the last couple seasons. I hate to put this graphic up, but I think we all have to take our medicine, swallow this pill, and realize better days are hopefully to come. 2 straight bottom of the division appearances, 4th place the last 2 years, 2nd in 2019. I mean, it's been no secret since Manning has left, the Broncos have not had a even close to consistent play at quarterback. It's been a revolving door. Honestly, it's getting to the point where you kind of feel like the Cleveland Browns, where you forget, oh, he started at quarterback? I completely forgot that happened. My neighbor, for example, is a Baltimore Ravens fan, and I had to remind him, Joe Flacco came and started 5 games for the Broncos? Yeah, that happened, and that wasn't as long ago as you may think it was. It was only 3 years ago. Let me ask this, though. If you think the Broncos are going to have a winning season next year, then go ahead and like this video. You better like it, because here's why. If you don't like it, I don't want to say that the Broncos are going to have a losing season. But I've gone full superstition mode now. I have. Earlier, I used to be, I'm a little superstitious. No, I'm full-on superstitious at this point because I'm tired of 2 straight 4th appearances in the AFC West. Seller of the division. Tired of it. And this is a big chart to look at. This is a very important graphic because Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and you fall 50 feet and you get Derek Carr, and then you fall a little more, in my opinion, and you get Drew Lock. There's an outlier here, and it's the Broncos quarterback. They just cannot compete in the AFC West with that quarterback play. Unless Drew Lock is going to magically transform over the offseason and become a top quarterback in the AFC, mediocre at best or average at best isn't going to get it done. Look what Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes did last week in the divisional round. You need someone who can keep up with that firepower. And I get it. Rodgers, the last couple of years in the postseason, hasn't looked like those guys, especially in the postseason. But I am in the belief that a little bit of a change of scenery, get him away from all that cheese in Wisconsin so he doesn't have that such big of a belly, come to Denver, relax a little bit, hang out with his fiance up in the mountains, take a little woo-hoo-hoo, you know what I mean, have some IPAs, be a little more relaxed, and get the Broncos to a Super Bowl. But name the starting quarterback for me. You think it's going to be Drew Lock still? Or are they going to go out and draft someone if they can't land an Aaron Rodgers trade? There's a lot of different avenues the Broncos quarterback position could look like in 2022. Let me know who you think it is down below. To wrap up the video, let's just hit on these notes one more time for Hackett, the 5th head coach since 2011, the 18th head coach in franchise history. Peyton broke the news at 4:52 Mountain Time. So if you're waking up to this on your phone's notification, this is not speculation or a rumor. This is a done deal. This is happening. The NFL's first head coaching hire of this offseason has taken place, and the Broncos went out and got their guy.